Welcome to Eclipse Yourself. In this video, we're going to explore the orbit, which allows us to actually view our activity, readiness and recovery over a longer period of time. When I first open the app here, you can see that I'm all in balance, which is obviously just reflecting today. But what the orbit allows, which is further down the page, is the orbit allows me to see that eclipse over a longer period of time. So the orbit is broken into two. We have the daily orbit that you can see here, and then we also have a 7-day trend orbit, which is below. So we'll start with the daily one, and as the sort of name reflects there, this is your daily eclipse history. So on the far right, you can see I have 3 lines tracking. I have a red line, which is my activity. I have a blue line, which is sort of going up and down, which is my recovery. And I have a yellow line, which is my readiness rating. So on the far right, those 3 dots, the red, the blue and the yellow, that is a reflection up here of my current eclipse rating. So if I go back down to the daily orbit, you can see a black tunnel which is going through here. So that's my eclipse balance. So whenever each of these 3 lines are within this black tunnel, then my total eclipse will be in balance. You can see down here with my recovery, that's out of balance. We'll actually highlight those with a larger circle. So where you see the blue circles and the yellow circles, that's where my recovery or my readiness have been out of balance for that day. Luckily enough, with my activity, you can see I've sort of gone up and then down a little bit, but I've still maintained balance on the road to success in my activity. With all these things, we've got a learn more button. So if you do actually want to get some more education around what each of the lines are and how they all work, you can just tap on that and read here. If I keep scrolling down, we'll see this is the 7-day trend orbit. So whereas above I was looking at day to day, what the 7-day trend does is that it applies a 7-day average to each of those lines. So the activity is a 7-day average, my readiness is a 7-day average, and my recovery is a 7-day average. So what you'll see up here in the daily one, you'll see a lot more sort of change and variance that is happening. Whereas in my 7-day trend, you can see a much smoother line with my recovery and also with my readiness. It's important to note, like the 7-day activity is already calculated as a 7-day trend. So you won't see any difference between the 7-day activity line here and here because it's already using a 7-day one in the calculation. But great here in terms of just being able to see my activity, which actually was increasing around this time, and my recovery went down. Then my activity has dropped off. Now it's sort of come up and it's stabilized a little bit more, and my recoveries in a 7-day trend is also starting to come up. Okay, so let's tap into the orbit. So at the moment I'm looking at a snapshot 4-week overview, but I can tap on that, and what I'll get here is a full 6 months history of all my activity, readiness and recovery in the same view. And you can see different times depending where I am. So you can see on this day, August 23rd, my recovery was out and my readiness was out. You can see the 2 big dots there, and my activity was actually in balance. Some great things on this screen is that I can easily apply a 7-day trend that goes through, and once again I get 6 months of trend data that goes through. So this is a lot easier just for noticing differences. So if you are maybe increasing your training or you're working on your sleep, there's great sort of insights to be had here just with a simple 7-day average applied to the ratings, whereas you can see with a daily view a little bit harder to get actual insights on what's happening, especially around that recovery and readiness. From this screen, I can also, if you would like to read a little bit more, you can pull up the bottom, which gives a quick description that's there. If I've done any inbox entries in daily wellness, we have a wellness report that we'll show here, or I can actually go straight into the wellness with the little notepad there and enter any wellness notes for today. You can get more information on that on the inbox video. Or another good feature is if I actually wanted to look here where I actually had a bit of a dip in my recovery, you can actually use these gauges to go directly into that page. And depending what trend I'm on, so if I'm on a 7-day trend, I tap on recovery, that will open to that exact day and also apply the 7-day trend. Similar if I'm back here, maybe we'll go to this one on a daily trend in readiness, and you'll see it's applied the day-to-day trend and it's gone to that date. So yeah, lots to learn about in the orbits. You can start to get a lot more context around your data and your information that's here. Really worthwhile exploring and adding notes and context and diving into the data a little bit more.